Hey guys, we got some news for you this week, straight from the couch again. And I want to give a little backstory before we get into the main story. See, Kim Jong Un, first, like earlier in the year, there's this whole story breaking about how, like, supposedly his brother got assassinated, and I guess we can pretty much conclude that he had some involvement in that.
Yeah.
Was most likely the one that ordered
Talk
that.
about a
to
sibling
happen.
rivalry.
But now we have the first true test of Trump's presidency with North Korea, because for the first time during Trump's presidency, just recently, earlier this week, Kim Jong Un fired off ballistic missiles that did a test about 100 miles off the coast of Japan, and today Trump responded by sending some missile defense systems to South Korea. I guess the idea is, okay, when they try it again, we're going to shoot their missiles out of the air. Is that basically what we're at now?
That's basically where we're at now. This is good and bad. There's always two sides to every story, and I commend Trump for this. I mean, South Korea, they're our allies. We gotta help them out, and we're sending our technology, our defense systems there to help them against a very unstable leader in Kim Jong Un. I mean, the guy literally was involved with, well, allegedly involved with killing his brother. I mean, that's pretty crazy. But then there's also this sense that what type of reaction would come from North Korea if the South Korean missile defense system were to shoot their missiles? And
Yeah,
that's what I'm wondering.
I think we're all wondering that because, like, there's two ways Trump could have played this, right?
Mhm.
The way he did, which was, I guess, to show force
Yeah.
and to kind of, for
Yeah.
once, we're like,
We're not
approaching
playing
North Korea.
around.
We're not playing around. Like, we're showing our hand here with North Korea. But he could have done the other option, which is the continued go along to get along, just let them fire off their tests. Because, I mean, the other thing is, maybe North Korea this whole time has just been blowing smoke,
Yeah.
Maybe they really are never going to really try to actually attack anybody. They're just testing. But I guess the thing that kind of bothers me about this is that now, like, it can evolve into this pissing match between Trump
Yeah.
and Kim Jong Un. Like, now we're going to find out what's going to happen, basically,
Yeah.
is where we're at now.
Yeah, and that like I said, that worries me too, because it's like, when does it end? I mean, again, typically our policy with North Korea is let them have a little fun in their corner, let them play with their toys, make a bunch of noise like a baby, and they'll go away they've had their little attention. We put them on CNN, they'll go away. But I do like this approach, because I mean, how long can the baby go making the noise in the corner before something gets broken?
Yeah, and I've seen some people, like, early on coming out, like, to criticize Trump's response, but, like, honestly, like, what were his options? His options either sit there and, like, let this kind of stuff keep going on, or to make a move.
Yeah.
And he decided to make a move. I'm not going to trash him for that.
No, not at all.
I mean, so, like, but, like, I guess the other thing we want to analyze here is that, like, let's say the worst case scenario comes. This escalates to the point where it actually becomes like a nuclear war type of situation. I feel like here in the United States, we're pretty insulated from anything really happening. I don't think they have the capabilities to shoot missiles that far, but they can hurt South Korea, they can hurt Japan and some of our other allies. So we still have to be careful, because, like, I don't want to see, like, that kind of destruction on one of our allied countries.
I wouldn't want to see that destruction on anybody, and I think that's the scary part, that, that double-edged sword. It's like, all right, yes, we're showing force, finally, when it comes to North Korea outside of a sanction.
Right.
We're actually saying, hey, we'll shoot you down if you pop off again. So I do like that attitude to a degree, but again, we're talking about someone that is unstable enough to, let's be honest here, it hasn't been confirmed, but let's be honest, he had something to do with his brother's death. Your brother.
Yeah.
So I don't trust him with nukes, especially when our allies are within 100, miles of him.
Yeah, and, like, the grand scheme of things, what Trump did isn't I don't think is that all controversial. It's not like it's like, oh, we're declaring war on you for that. Like, no, it's just basically like, okay, now South Korea, in case you try to, like, shoot something at them, we're just gonna knock it out of the air. But another thing that's interesting about this whole North Korea thing and Kim Jong Un is, like, remember back when Trump was, like, still kind of like during the election, going for the presidency.
Yeah.
And like he kind of like received praise, like not just from like
Yeah.
Putin, but like also from Kim Jong Un. And it's kind of like I kind of want to like ask the question of like why do you think Kim Jong Un praised Trump? Did he think like he was going to be a pushover, or like because clearly that's not going to be the case.
I think 100% that's what it was. I think that, I mean, let's be honest here. Most of the general public thought this guy was a buffoon, a reality TV star. Thought that he would never show any type of force. When honestly, with this, he's shown that he is a militaristic leader. Do I trust him 100%? Not exactly, but this stance was a good move on his part to show, hey, I'm not a pushover. Yeah, you rooted me on because you want to continue to play in your little sandbox and build these bombs that are eventually, going to hurt our allies. But no, we're not going to allow it. We're going to fight back. And I do commend the president for it. I really do. In this stance, I think Trump made the best decision.
So here's my next question: is like, if let's say like Kim Jong Un decides to like shoot off another missile, and let's say it's like a test missile, like he's not aiming it at South Korea or anything. Do you think do you think South Korea's gonna end up like using what we just gave them to shoot at a test missile, or are they gonna just reserve it if it actually is coming towards them?
I would see South Korea because I don't see them as a country that's looking to start a war, especially when they know that it could turn into a nuke war within the blink of an eye. I could see them waiting. If they see a missile coming their way, we're going to hit the button to shoot the defense system to kind of thwart that test missile, because you just don't know what it could be in the sky. You have no idea until that bomb is exploded and it's like, oh, it was just a test bomb. You have no idea. Missile's coming for you. You're going to defend yourself. I don't see them using it any other reason but in terms of a missile's coming for them.
The other big variable in this that perhaps some people aren't focusing on is, like, if this escalates, what is going to be like, because there's been talk like, oh, China has some control over North Korea. What's China going to do about this? What's Russia going to do about this if this does start to escalate and become a big problem? Do you think what kind of role do you think those countries, if any, are going to play in it?
Well, that's another question I had too, because North Korea is connected to China. It has ties to Russia, and that's where it gets scary, and that's when it gets doomsday-like. Because when you start talking China and Russia, you start talking a lot of nukes. You start talking big armies, and that's something we don't want to go near. As the United States, we don't want to start a war with those two countries. That's just not good for any place on the earth, because between the three of us, we have enough nukes to destroy this planet 1,000,000 times over.
I just hope that if it does get to that point where tension's rising and we're seeing these kind of like divisions between like the allies and this other side, I hope the United Nations at that point can step in and like de-escalate things if it does get to that point. But yeah, I mean this is kind of a scary time, particularly if I live in South Korea. I'm pretty terrified about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we have the comfort to be able to like sit back and just look at this, but yeah, I mean, if you're living in Japan, you're living in South Korea, you gotta be terrified of what's going on.
And I mean,
it's escalating.
Let's be honest here, Japan, the only recipient and victim of a nuclear weapon in history. I mean, that's not something that's out of their history books. That's something that's probably still in the minds, especially of the older generation. So this is a terrifying time for those two countries, and I'm pretty sure it's been a terrifying time at least for the last 10 years or so, since Kim Jong Un has been in power and has been a lot more radical than his father was. So, I mean, in a sense, I think it's good for America, honestly, and I think this goes outside of probably most people's isolationist point of view. We probably should be doing stuff like we did for South Korea, given a missile defense system. We should probably even do it for Japan. Show them that, hey, North Korea, chill out.
Yeah, so that does it for our episode, and so it turns out North Korea's played their hand and Trump has responded. So we're going to see where it goes from here. But that's the story of the day. And make sure you subscribe and follow us on Twitter and all other social media.
And don't forget, coming soon actually, we have a new show coming for you. Check out social media. We're actually going to be talking about all over social media in the next few days. It'll be coming soon. It'll be starring our boy Alex from Behind the Counter. Alex, say hello.
Yo.
There we go. So, don't forget, stay tuned.
Damn it.
What happened?
Oh, stop recording again.
Where did
Oh, did it say it got full?
Yeah.